Welcome to the Way podcast. This is going to be a great conversation. Can't wait for you guys to listen more. My name is Zenya and I'm here with
Jesse.
And we're also joined by the lovely
Jemimah.
Jemimah, who are you?
Who am I? Gosh.
I had to think about it.
Huge question. I am a music artist and a singer, singing teacher. And I was originally born on the little island of Guernsey.
Nice.
And then I moved over to London when I was 18 to study at Bible College. And I've been here ever since.
You studied at Bible College?
I did, yeah.
Oh, which college?
I went to London School of Theology.
Oh, wow.
Flip.
Yeah.
That's cool though. You're a music artist. Did you
Yes.
always want to be a music artist?
I didn't even know if I knew that was a thing until when I moved over to London, actually. When I was like 18 or 19, I was like, oh, that you can actually do that. You can write songs and like use that as a ministry and travel. And I kind of always wanted to do some sort of traveling with music. And then I was like, oh, I can write my own songs and have I can share those with people. Yeah.
And why was that the attraction? Writing your own songs, because you say you wanted to travel, but you could do that as like a backing vocalist or whatever. It's like why artistry? Do you feel like it's a calling? Or
Yeah.
the C word?
Yeah, I do. I feel like, well, we've all got a story to tell and to share. And I knew from a very young age that the Lord gave me the musical ability to share that through song. And so knowing that there's power in my story, through a few things that have happened in my life, I'm like, oh, I want to share that with people so they can meet the same God that I know in my heart. I've got a story to tell and I want to share it through singing.
Oh, I love that.
Great.
And I love how you said that, your relationship with God has meant that you want other people to experience that same thing. But when, did you have that idea, oh, I want to share this with other people? When did you have that moment?
That's a really good question. I think actually it was during my degree at Bible College. I was like, oh, okay, I want to try and put these songs out into the world. I didn't really know how to start doing that. I knew of a couple of people that had done that before and who I really looked up to in the kind of the Christian music world. And I was like, I want to do what they're doing. But also knew that didn't know at the time, but was aware of the hard work that I needed to put in as a music artist and as a musician. Oh my word, it's so worth it, but it's so hard. And yes, I was like, oh, I want to share my story. How can I do that? And I think that the couple of times that I did share my own kind of creativity actually was when I was 7 or 8. I'd written a poem about drink driving and I shared it on the radio in Guernsey. And I actually then wrote a song about it, which was terrible at the time because I wasn't a very experienced songwriter at the time.
Still are.
Savage.
No, great. You're seriously amazing. I mean, we just saw it. It was wonderful.
Thank you. But yeah, I shared that on the radio and had quite a few people being like, "Wow, I resonate with this. Thank you for kind of summing up this kind of topic that's very real to a lot of people in a song." Yeah.
Right, we've got one little question. What is the most embarrassing thing that happened to you when you were a teenager?
Oh.
Okay. It was bonfire night. I was an early teen, maybe
It's always bonfire
13.
night.
It's always bonfire night.
Why is it always bonfire night? What's that about?
Well, I was about 13 and I was with my church having a bonfire night barbecue. We need to have a barbecue on bonfire night. I don't know what we were eating, but we were having something nice. And I went to go give my dad his food and I went into a circle of people talking and I nudged past this guy who I thought was my dad. Had this big yellow coat on because that's the coat my dad had on. And I walked and I was like, here's your food. And I looked up and I was like, that is not my dad. Oof. And then I had to shrivel out the circle and just walk away with this food. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll just go and find my father somewhere else then.
Dude,
that's quite embarrassing.
Yikes.
that is embarrassing.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling now. I've had
15 years later.
Yeah, 15, almost 15 years later. How's my heart?
I can see it in your eyes.
Yeah, I think you can. I think because, I got over it in a day.
Wow.
It's still a day.
Resilience.
Took me a while.
What's your most embarrassing story, Zenya?
Oh my gosh.
Pinned it to the host.
Not as coming round. I was in year 8. Humble girl. in art class, just doing my work, and there was a guy on my table that I really liked, and I was like, I'm gonna ask him out because I'm really forward. And I was like, okay, how are we gonna do this? So I said, why don't I write him a note and draw on it? It'd be really, really cute. And then I put it in his locker at the end of the day. And then I went home and I thought, W-Riz, even though Riz wasn't a thing back then, but I thought that was smooth. And then my friend called me and she was like, did you ask so-and-so to go out? And I said, yeah. How do you know that? She was like, he told everyone. He showed everyone the note, so everyone knows. She was like, you fumbled. And I was really embarrassed, but luckily no one brought it up. But you know when everyone knows and you know and no one's saying it, but it's the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
I will never live that down.
Nightmare.
Quick fire question. What's your favourite food?
Peas.
Favourite colour?
Blue.
Another one.
You gotta be quick, bruv.
Oh, favourite movie?
The Grinch.
Favourite celebrity?
Oh, Jim Carrey.
Oh.
Best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Treat people for who they are and not what they do.
Worst piece of advice you've ever been given?
Oh, fake it till you make it. I don't know.
Mate, I still do that. I'm doing that right now. No, I'm joking.
Is that bad advice?
I don't know if that's bad advice or not.
I feel like I've done that my whole
It's
life.
actually the mantra of my life. I've built my life on
I
that
actually
phrase,
have
actually.
like 4 t-shirts with that on. That's so funny you say that.
Yeah, that was
sorry,
wild.
hang on.
That was
Favourite
wild.
food, peas. Favourite film, The Grinch.
Yeah.
Does that mean Christmas Day you're just like lapping up
I
peas
just love
watching
Christmas.
The Grinch? Is that what you do?
Well, I just love peas. I don't know why I used to snack on them at uni. Bit of butter in the microwave. Lovely.
Are you now going to tell us green is your favourite colour?
No, it's actually, I panicked and I said blue. It's actually duck egg blue.
Duck-
A nice duck egg. It's like in between greeny and blue with a bit of white in it. It's really nice. It's a lovely colour.
Greeny, blue, white.
It's
I
hard
just-
to describe.
I just like black, bruv.
It's easy answer.
Fez.
Yeah, so if you don't know, the theme of this wonderful, as you like to call it, Xenia, a pod. This pod is failing forwards. It's a good theme, and you mentioned a minute ago briefly, it's really hard, the
Yeah.
music industry. And there's probably people watching who are wondering, how do I get there? What is a big fail in the music industry that's helped you get to where you are today?
Yeah, I mean, for me, my big fail was when I was a teenager. And I wouldn't say it was like the biggest thing, but I ended up writing a song about it, which then I can share with I have been able to share with other people. So when I was born into a really musical family. My granddad ran a choir of like 80 people. We did big concerts every year to like 200 or 300 people. But he would get me up when I was 7 or 8. He would get me up to sing a solo when I just didn't want to. I was like, this is not my portion. I do not want to do this. But still did it. And I was like, I thought my leg would fall off. I was so nervous. I just was like, I'm not thriving right now. And there was one time I just totally forgot the words. Kind of stood there and I was like, I just don't know. I don't know. I could have to make them up. I don't know what I'm going to sing. And I was writing a song a couple of years ago that I released a couple of years ago called Use Me. And the premise of the song basically is me asking the Lord if he can use me, knowing everything about me, knowing that I fail, I'm not perfect, like all of us. And in the song, one of the verses says, forgot the last line of the chorus, said you didn't even notice. So like, God knows our imperfection and he notices it, but he's not like, well, that's it, let's cancel you. Like, it's like, no, actually, I want to use you even more because you know you're imperfect and you know that actually only in him, we are strong only in the Lord. And so that, kind of me forgetting the words on stage in front of 300 people, then led me to write this song that actually has a lot of people have resonated with, and a lot of people are like, oh, I ask the Lord that all the time, like, God, can you use me, knowing I've done this and this, knowing all my imperfections. And yet you're still like, yep, every day the Lord is like, I want to use you. I want to use you to bring my kingdom.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so powerful. Like, your music is like mission work.
Yeah, 100%.
We've already touched on it, but just to talk about it a bit more, like, what does your music mean to you? Like, how does your music resonate with your faith, just to go on that a bit more.
Yeah. So I know that actually without the Lord, I can't sing, and I don't want to do it if it's not for him. Even when I do gigs in pubs, I'm still aware of me being a Christian, coming in and singing songs in the pub, of like the spiritual atmosphere, like in a pub can be quite dark, and actually coming in and bringing the light through singing my own songs, and then other songs that people can like, I know, like Valerie, or, you know, lots of different songs out there, singing a mix between mine and songs that are kind of really well known. Allows kind of the light to break through in the really dark places.
Just wondering, like, have you ever, because I'm assuming you felt called to music.
Yes.
From how old were you when you felt called to music?
Well, I started singing when I was 7, or singing lessons when I was 7, and growing up into a musical family. My mum was a professional singer. The choir was all I'd ever known. It was like another version of church on top of church. Sometimes I felt like a pastor's kid just because of like the amount of people that were in the choir and the community we had. And so from a young age, I was like, I love singing. I didn't want to do it in front of a lot of people, but I loved it at the same time. And then when I was 14 or 15, I really felt, I think I had a few words of just like, God's going to use your voice. And when I was 18, I had a word about, God's going to use your voice and you're going to travel with your voice. Wow. And I've done loads of, not like international travel, but kind of through a few bits in Europe and all over the UK, like currently doing a little tour. So like traveling, using my songs as musical ministry, and traveling with it, and I love it. It's great.
So it's awesome that you said you felt called from when you were younger. And I guess my next question is, what should we do if we feel like God is calling us to something but it isn't happening?
This is a really easy answer to a really difficult question, actually, but God's timing is so different to ours. He's like, his plans are so much higher and bigger than ours, and so we kind of condense what God is saying into like our little box, and we're like, but God, you said it would happen in this time, and actually he's like, no, I didn't. You put that into your own time. He knows when the best time is for us to do this thing or that thing, but we need to trust that he knows better than we do, because often we'll think, oh, actually it's fine, I'll just take it into my own hands. But if we do things in our strength, it's just like totally pointless, because it just never works out. Because it's not when the Lord wants. So I think with calling, the key thing I think is to continue to work hard, because the Lord has given us gifts that we really need to hone and pursue with excellence, and to like study for, or like practice day in, day out, as even when we're seeing no fruit, because actually it might just be a really long like winter season when actually summer and spring is coming. We have to like push until we get there and trust that the Lord will bring the spring, the Lord will bring the summer when he knows it's right, rather than when we think it's right.
Flip.
It reminded me what you just said on the parable of the talents. I think it's in Matthew, the king, and he gives one person like 5 talents, one person 2, one person 1, and the others, they spend it, they do stuff with it, and then the one guy that has the 1, he's like, I'm gonna put it in the ground because I don't think I'll be blessed again to ever get anything. And then the king's like, I actually gave you that to use, not to hide away. Shame on you. I'm joking, he didn't say that, but the whole point of the parable is to use the talents and the gifts that God has given you and not to hide them. And I think like, I'm just speaking for myself, don't know about anyone else, but like the fear of stepping into my calling is the fear of like, what if he's not going to double it? Or like, what if he's not? But like you said, he's given you the now, so work hard with what he's given you, because if he said that he's going to do it, then he's going to do it, and just trust in that.
Fact.
100%.
And Mim, I'd love to hear about your song Head to the Heart.
Come on.
Can you tell us about it?
Yes, so my new single, which I released in January, called Head to the Heart. It's called Head and Heart. But it's all about the journey from head to the heart, and the like 18 inches, the kind of short journey, but actually the big journey kind of internally that is. And it's kind of the why of why I do music and why I do for the Lord. I believe that the Lord has called me to write and release music for it to be a bridge between people's heads and their hearts. They don't just have all this like intellectual knowledge about who Jesus is, but they actually have a relationship with them in their heart. And so they listen to my music, and I hope and pray that they get a glimpse of a bit more of who God is, and it's like, oh, God, you can still use me. God, you're in my every moment. God, you're with me when I'm grieving. You're with me when I'm elated with joy. Like, you're in it all. And so, yeah, that story, that's the story behind the song of like, God, I thought we were closer than we actually are. And actually now I've just realised that actually I've just kept you up here, but I really need to know you in my heart.
Wow. I actually have a little side question, but just because I want to know.
You want to rap on the song?
I mean...
Are you serious? Can you give us a little demonstration?
I was going to speak about it, but... Oh... Head to the heart, something about start,
hey,
like art. Okay, let me stop because
all right. You're embarrassing.
We're gonna shut down the whole podcast right now. It's gonna get crazy.
The pod.
Yeah, the pod. But no, my question was, like, what's your favorite lyric in the song?
Can I have two?
No. Yeah, you can.
He's like, no.
Oh, well, okay. Well, the easy answer to that is head and heart. But I quite like the word journey. I want the journey from head to the heart. That's my favourite word, I think, in it, because it is a journey and it's different, looks different for everyone. Can look longer and shorter for different people. But it is a journey, and we learn things on the journey, and we're never going to be the same by the end of the journey as we did at the beginning.
Buzz.
And another thing I want to ask quickly is, how did you know that music was your calling?
Ooh,
good question. I knew that I had... Oh, yes, okay. I knew I kind of had a gift in it. Like, you know, when you just know that actually something you love, you thrive in it, gives you joy. And I was singing in a concert, and a guy who isn't a Christian came up to me afterwards and was like, I felt something different when you sung. Like, it made me cry. And I was like, that's not... I don't know why I'm making you cry. Like... And I kept having a few people who weren't Christians coming up to me when I was performing and being like, you're making me cry. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I was quite young at the time to kind of really understand what that meant. And then now I've been like, oh, that's the Lord, like moving through my voice, moving through my singing, and touching the hearts of the people that I'm ministering to and performing and to. And knowing that the Lord kind of is carried on the voice. And I just like, I think the obedience... Like, we just need to be obedient to the Lord.
Come on.
And then he moves.
Why go fully in with faith and not into the secular?
Because, as I said earlier, we've got a story to share, and I think it would be a total waste of my life, really, to not share my story. And my story is about knowing the Lord. And I want to share that in like pubs and festivals and like cafes and church, kind of wherever the Lord, in a field, wherever it is that the Lord will move me to. So I feel like I can't do it without my faith.
That's so good. No, this is so inspiring, man.
Xenia's heart's happy.
Yeah, you touched my heart.
Thriving.
Yeah.
Great.
What was your favourite ever moment in performance?
I think my favourite moment ever was a few months ago in January, where I released my first single, Head and Heart, and I did an EP launch to like celebrate and fundraise for all the work that I'd put in, like financially, to making the music and releasing it. And I went big and was like, I'm going to raise 10 grand. And so I've been kind of working on raising that for the last couple of years. And then my friend during the night had like totted up all the like GoFundMe and Eventbrite and all the merch that had been sold and everything's had like 150 people come and support me and celebrate the EP release. And she came up on stage and it was the moment of truth, and we were like, how much have you raised? And she was like, you've hit the target, you've got over 10 grand. And I was like, live reaction. I was just like, oh my word, God, you're so good. Like, I honestly did not expect to reach the target. I don't know. And so I was just like overwhelmed, speechless with the fact that we'd raised the target, and I was like, I can now make more music. I can sew in again and do more and like minister more. And so that was a really special moment. And actually, even that whole night, really having all my friends there to celebrate me, it's like performing all the songs for the first time with a live band.
Wow.
It was so special.
Well, that sounds amazing. But speaking of Head and Heart, you've actually lined up a little taster of this song for us to listen to. So I think we should roll it. Should we roll it?
Let's roll it.
Let's do 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 it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Thought that we were closer than we are. It's never been this hard to recognize. You've never been this quiet in my life. And now I realize it's only 18 inches from head to the heart. I know you're there and I need you now. Over and over again, I never wanna pretend 18 ain't so far. I want the journey from head to my heart. I feel the rush in my veins and my blood. Want you to move from my head to my heart. I want the journey from head to the heart. My head and my heart. Thought that I was standing on solid ground. Heart's a little heavy, I'm overwhelmed. Thoughts are suffocating, weighing me down. I realize it's only 18 inches from head to the heart. I know you're there and I need you now. Over and over again, I never wanna pretend 18 ain't so far. I want the journey from head to my heart. I feel the rush in my veins and my blood. Want you to move from my head to my heart. I want the journey from head to the heart. My head and my heart. Head to my heart. I feel the rush in my veins and my blood. Want you to move from my head to my heart. I want the journey from head to the heart. My head and my heart. I want the journey, whoa. I want the journey. I want the journey, whoa. I want the journey. I want the journey, whoa. I want the journey. I want the journey, whoa. I want the journey from head to my heart. I feel the rush in my veins and my blood. Want you to move from my head to my heart. I want the journey from head to the heart. My head and my heart.
What is the plan for the next 10 years? Like,
Gosh.
you've just done this fundraiser, got a bit of money in the bank, ready to make some more music. But what does that look like?
Writing more music. So my EP, we recorded it and wrote it within 4 days. 2 days writing, 2 days recording in a studio in Kent. It was super fun. So I want to do that again with the team that I had last time. It was just incredible. So want to write some more songs, 4+. I don't know how many, but maybe even an album. Got some more stories to share, some more life to let other people into.
Wow.
So definitely that. Want to do another tour, maybe around a bit more of the UK. I didn't quite go up north, so maybe a north tour. Maybe like in Europe too. That would be fun. Yeah.
That was a big deal.
So yeah, and just keep performing, keep using the songs as ministry, keep recording, and also through it all just having fun, you know. I never quite know what's around the corner with music, you know. You just wait, you don't wait, but you often just get a random email that you like pays your next like rent check for the month, you know. Sometimes you just get a fun day out recording with friends.
I don't get those emails.
I've only had like 2.
Where are my emails, bro?
Oh no.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Mim, what's the new EP called? It's coming out soon, isn't it?
Yeah, very soon. The EP is going to be out on the 26th of May, and it's called Colour, and it's about the Lord understanding and knowing everything that we could ever know and feel. He already has felt it, and he already knows it, and so he's every single colour, because like, every colour is connected to emotion. And actually he's felt and knows every one of them. And obviously we see the rainbow in the Bible, and obviously the Lord made the rainbow, and he's every single one of those colours, so he understands everything.
Wow. Love that.
Every colour's got an emotion.
Well, I've made that up, but
What about red?
Red. Well, you can assume anger with red, can't you? But then also, if you're a Christian, you assume it attributes it to the blood of Jesus. So yeah.
What about duck egg blue?
See, that's a kind of a calm colour.
Wow.
Serenity. I don't know.
Like a
I don't know what a lake. Yeah.
A lake with a duck. Well, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a joy to have you.
Thank you.
Mim, it's been a joy to have you, Xenia,
It's
as
been
always.
a joy to have you.
My fellow
thanks,
co-host.
Jessie.
Come on.
And do like and subscribe. We've got more on the way.
What?
And there's some cool special guests coming up. So keep tuned. But see you soon.